Alright, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Finally back at Bathurst, and this is going to be quite different than what I've ever looked at before. We're looking at 1966 GALLAHER 500 Bathurst. So this is really old. I've looked at plenty of 70s and 80s Bathurst Mount Panorama races. It's always the best. These are some of my favorite videos ever to make. But 1966, this is really old. This comes to us from Super 100 miles per hour. Excellent channel. We've seen them before. It will be linked in the description down below. I highly encourage you to check them out. Get right into this. Super old. I want to see how different the track looks, and I want to see what kind of cars we're working with here. I do reckon that minis are going to be in here because I remember hearing from you guys that, believe it or not, on this wild track, Mini Coopers had a pretty strong run in the 60s, I believe. So here we go.
Under the new GALLAHER banner. Japanese quality was well established last year by the Toyotas, and they're on the job again.
Toyota Coronas?
In 4 price classes up to $4,000. They're rolling out to the grid for the 9 a.m. gun. Finish soon after 4 p.m. First appearance of the Toyota Crown.
Let me get this straight. Before, obviously, now it's the Bathurst 1000. We all know this. But back then, it was called the whatever sponsor it was that year, and basically the Bathurst 500, let's say. And that 500 wasn't kilometers, but actually miles, correct?
6
I
anywhere
believe
in
so.
Australia. While Jack Needham Studebaker, not blessed with the best of good fortune, is fronting up for the 4th time.
Studebaker,
topliners
Toyota, there we go.
With Monte Carlo scalps to their belt, will throw 2 mighty minis around one of the toughest circuits in the world.
Mighty
Bob
minis.
Oldham with Rauno Olsen in 13.
Look
and
at how
Brian Foley is the partner Paddy Hopkirk wants to remember.
I can't believe how small those really are. It's actually
no
incredible.
official Ford entries, so Harry Firth will be at the wheel of Mini 9. The winding track 3 7/8 miles, rising 650 feet.
I imagine
the winner will average over 73 miles an hour.
I imagine you could just toss those around the track like a toy, like
One
for
of the
real.
classic events of Australia's motor racing calendar. Stand by.
Here we go, yeah. Look at that old field, how fun.
Just as much noise and smoke for the new sponsor. 216 wheels gather momentum as they race to GALLAHER corner. Balloting for grid position ensures the high-powered cars get clear first, with the minis yapping at their heels.
Okay, wow, first impressions. Look at how different the track looks, right? The easiest way to describe it, it's not corporate overload like you would see nowadays at any track. Nowadays, I'll admit, it's very visually stunning, right? I mean, the track surface looks beautiful, and of course, you have the colored walls, with the different sponsors and colors, and it adds some flair to it. It's very nice looking. This is a lot more plain. I mean, it looks like they're going down some country road. That's what it literally looks like. They had just like some posts on a couple of the turns. I mean, this has nothing. No sponsorship anywhere. This is kind of cool, but hilarious in a way, right? How much has changed.
In front of them now, Valiant, Olsen right up behind them. Then Brown, Smith, Savers, Holden, 3 more minis. The Boddenberg Valiant, then minis galore.
Minis galore. There's a lot of minis in the race. Wow.
Infamous Forest Elbow and no change, except that the minis are a little closer and pushing very hard.
Yeah, they're cornering extremely well, you can tell. No surprise there. I wonder how they'll do on Conrad, though.
And at the bottom, it's obvious the Studebaker is not going to press so hard this year. Stays out wide and invites the Hurry Boys to have a go. Watch at the back as the Manda Davis Cooper bolts for Bathurst up the
Whoa. Oh, my God. Did you see that? Someone super overshot the turn.
Conrad, and at the bottom, it's obvious
Oh,
the
my
Studebaker is not going
goodness.
to press so hard this year. Stays out wide and invites the Hurry Boys.
I mean, especially with this old track layout, right? It was just literally a marathon straight where you were just flying at the end. And you had to come hard into Murray's corner here. Dude, especially with old brakes, old tires, some of these, look at that. Look at that guy. Oh, my God. Someone flew off the track, man. I hope they're okay.
That first lap is quite a hazard. Anxious faces among the pit crews.
Even the pit road there is just way smaller looking,
He got it. Between the cutting and the S's, so did Smith 18 and Brown 10. Not much relief for the big fellow. Behind him 3 more. Hudson 12, Foley 28, Matic 21. Then Aaron, Stacey, Forrest.
I mean, they're racing now. Look how close they are. And you can see the speed. You can see the body lean. They're pushing them. They're not going slow.
There's some skill in that pack and some fun. Top
I mean, those minis, look at those. They're going on 3 wheels. They're lifting the left rear tire up off the ground.
Down Conrad at a sizzling pace. Lap time 3:14. Smith sticking to Altonen. No let up and a long way to go.
Wow.
The brown Cook car is sticking like glue. No quarter ask. And Foley has got number 28.
Jeez, those things handle so well.
Behind Hodgson.
I guess I'm not surprised that they were a weapon back then.
Is the problem.
I imagine they lacked the straight line speed even compared to the other smaller cars like the Toyotas and the Studebakers, but
they don't see Smith take Altonen. Privilege reserved for the local livestock.
Beautiful horses there.
A few laps later, just after 9:30, Smith drops back and Foley hits the front. They just can't keep this up. Stamina will supersede skill as the clock ticks by.
This area, this Bathurst, New South Wales, especially back then, I know it's still like that to this day, but especially with this footage, the track not being so decorated like it is now. It's really cool. It looks just like a vast countryside, doesn't it? The rolling hills. And other than pit lane there, you don't see any signs, right? It's, oh no. Holy crap, we have a mini down. I wouldn't expect to flip one of those over, but...
He's still in there, sorting himself out, but okay. An obstacle for the others and a job for the tow wagon. Since last year, the council has done a good job widening the 2 bottom corners. You can take them both faster, but they need a new approach line.
So even back in '66, they had widened the track at this point already.
Foley. Hits the front again around 10 a.m.
I know they've done over the years, or over the decades, rather. Look at that. Get it towed off. Everyone's still racing.
There are only 2 escape roads, and Paul Mander has had a look at both of them.
Oh, geez. Seems like he's had a rough day, seen both escape roads, as the commentator said.
Stanley Gibson Cooper, 17, going well. Poised in 4th, outright behind Smith, keeping up the pressure.
Wow, those things they're really hauling ass, gotta admit it. Look at him splitting a gap between those two. Wow. Now that's an aggressive pass right there, but it worked.
The low-priced Class A cars are now 2 laps behind the leaders with the Lawler Gaps Cortina 53 in the van. Not by much and knows it.
I imagine the Cortinas would have done well certain years, correct? I know those were a big name in a lot of racing around the world.
Bluebirds are only seconds behind with the Japanese.
And what do we have here? He did mention classes. I should have covered it at the beginning. We'd probably have, 2 or 3 different classes during this race? At least 2?
The Datsun boys must feel confident with all 3 purring round trouble-free. None of these boys can speak English, but they can drive.
Wow, very cool.
In the next class, up to $2,040, the Cray Holland Cooper is a clear leader, just ahead of Chivers in another 33. Then the Williamson MacArthur Toyota 34. These 4-door family saloons, 3 of them, are doing well against go-go cars built for speed. After a little more than an hour, the big cars are all about a lap behind. Little to choose between the 2 Valiants and the Studebaker. It's a track that doesn't suit
we got
big
some
cars,
Valiants too.
It's difficult to know how to drive against this pack of minis. As long as they don't get too far behind, the big fellows can always press later.
Yeah, he's got a good point. Those big sedans are just, even if they got more power, they're just having trouble. They weigh a lot. They got way more body lean. Just a bigger footprint, right? They're longer. They're just not cutting these corners sharp like the minis are. There's just no way, He got pretty wobbly though.
A rear locating arm broken. He came to grips with a tree at XL Bend.
Ouch.
No comment at this stage. He's 3rd outright behind Altonen and Foley.
Even some minis though, running off the track.
This debut by the Toyota Crown 6 is impressive. Price is the only reason this 4-door saloon is in the same class as the mighty Mini, the one car with a racing background all its own. The Crown's purpose is to show its quality, and it's certainly doing that.
Very interesting.
So are the other members of the Toyota family, all 3 of them, still just over a lap behind the Cray Holland Cooper.
This era of racing looks so fascinating to me. I wish I could have been around for this as well before my time. It just would have been so fun to attend these, to be around down in the pits, learn about these, smell all that fuel and the rubber, and I don't know, they were really cool, this era of cars, because these cars are basically stock, right? They're so close to stock, And a lot of these cars were really tough back then.
And
It's
none of
very
them thrashing
cool
too
era.
hard. All three
Would have been
driven by
so
Australians.
fun to be a
At the
race car
moment, the
driver
Wheat Kelly
back then.
car, 37, is ahead of Williamson MacArthur in 34, Samson Marshall in 32. They're so close to each other that this pit stop for 37 will reverse the order.
Definitely different looking pit stops, huh? Compared to days of late, right? Modern.
In cars still 13 and 28, doing 3 minutes 15. Many questioned the wisdom of being so close together, virtually slipstreaming. But it was good to watch the developing battle between the two fastest cars and the glamour driver. Holden built up a bit more time and they're in for petrol and tyres. Paddy Hopkirk is out on the pit apron to wish him well.
Look at that tire change. What a pain, right?
Takes over.
Oh my God.
After 5 hours of thrashing, the strain can show awful
Uh-oh.
quick.
Lost a tire? Yeah. Oh my
Happy to bring
goodness.
it to a safe
We
stop, you
got
then
a
have to
tire
work
running
out
down
whether
the
to chase that
mountain.
wheel.
Oh
brother.
jeez. Oh no. Oh my God, that is a hazard. Look at it. It's going straight down the middle of the track. There it goes.
Yes,
Get out in
it's
the
gone,
woods.
nuts and all. With the Studebaker out of it, there's a real battle developing between the two Valiants, the Holden and the Triumph 2000. The Bodenberg Valiant has wheel-bearing trouble. He had his nose in front with the Nauga blackfellow pressing hard. The look on the driver's face will show how close is the margin. Harry Firth continued his forward run into second spot and then developed serious brake trouble. Typically, he voted for discretion, coached his way round. Thus, you live to fight another day.
Now, I imagine from what I do know about older cars, I imagine one of the weak points of these cars, just based on the era, though, would have been brakes. It's actually kind of surprising that a lot of cars would be able to finish a race like this just based on the brake element alone, because I imagine these brakes just took a beating and faded out real quick. I imagine a lot of these were drums. If they did have disc, it would have been early disc brakes still. And I just don't know how durable they would have been long term, right? Imagine they would have had to switch out pads during the race.
His average lap time for the whole day was 3:19. And at 11 minutes past 4, Bart Moggridge reaches for the checkered flag. One of the few men to win at his first attempt on this course.
There you go. There's the Mini taking the checkered flag.
Faster than last year. A lap and 31 seconds ahead of Stanley Gibson, then McPhee Mulholland.
With a pretty clean lead, too. Pretty good gap.
Jackson, Cooper, and Valiant, the other class winners.
It sounded like the Valiant maybe won its class, one of them.
All over, bar the shouting, and in Champagne, too. Apart from the fat check and a laurel wreath, there's a welcome kiss from Miss Gallagher for each class winner.
There you go.
At this
Wow.
stage, a thought for local champ Bob Holden, who shared that lap average.
Not
and
bad,
the pit
huh?
crew and engineers, the backroom boys who kept her going. Pity about that camera, isn't it? Do believe they're embarrassed. Cray and Holland, Class B. Congratulations, too, to Nauger and O'Keefe, who won the big car battle in the Black Valiant number 5.
What a time, man.
Perhaps
What a
Saki
time.
would be more welcome, but they don't seem to mind. Datsun first, second, and fourth, Class A.
Wow. Looks like a lot of fun, man. Oh, I missed out. I wish I could have seen this kind of stuff back then. But we can see it now. Very, very fun. This was the Gallagher 500 from 1966. So one of the earliest Bathurst footage I think we've seen on this channel. Really, really good to be back in a Bathurst video. Very fun. The minis were impressive. They really were impressive. You could see them carving through the corners, some of them lifting up that rear wheel. It was really kind of cool to see. Obviously, they had the handling down. There's no question about that. Cannot beat how tight they were, how small, and how light. And even though, Mount Panorama had some long straights, it's all those tight turns that let the Mini, go ahead, right? They might not have had the total straight line speed of some of the competitors, but didn't matter. All those tight curves, they could just whip around everybody. You saw some of those Minis splitting hairs, like going in between two cars, coming into the turn hot, and just sticking it. It was kind of amazing. So really cool to see the old footage here. The old cars, the track was so bare back then, so different looking than now. It literally looked like a country road in some spots, it was. I know it was even, and still is. But it's just so decorated now. And back then, it just looked so simple. It was kind of cool to see that contrast, knowing both the modern and the old. So please tell me your thoughts on this down below. This is pretty long ago, so some of you might not have been born yet either watching this, or some of you might have been really, really young. Maybe some of you did get to see this. If you did, please tell me about it down below. Tell me about some of your other favorite clips you would like me to see still. Obviously browse my channel. I have tons of motorsports and Bathurst clips, so yeah, definitely look for those. Throw a like on this video if you did enjoy it. That would really help it out. I do appreciate it. Of course, you can subscribe for more awesome videos like this and join our awesome community. Check that description for this original video from Super 100. It will be linked down there. Definitely check them out and check out other ways you can interact with my channel. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, guys. Catch you later.